Good evening. Thank you for joining me tonight. I wanted to talk about burnout. Forgive me if I keep staring at my screen. It's because it's got all these cracks on it. So again, I hope the video is actually working. So did you know that burnout is actually, I just need to find the quote, has now been included in the 11th revision of the International Classification of Diseases, ICD-11, as an occupational phenomenon. It is not classified as a medical condition, okay? But it is a phenomenon. 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 Okay, sorry. Yep. Got to do something stupid while I'm sitting here with my own crazy phenomenon at the moment. So burnout, we kind of, over the years, I think, evening Johnny, I think people just go, oh, I'm burnt out, you know, if they've had a tough week at work, you know, or they've had a crazy time with their baby, or they've had just something going on that's kind of caused them a freakish week, and it's, oh, I'm burnt out, I'm suffering from burnout. Well, you're probably not, you probably just had a shitty week. Arianna Huffington has this great quote: "The land of burnout is not a place I ever want to go back to." Like, it's a real, burnout is mental and physical, okay? So it's a really, really big thing, and it can have catastrophic ramifications on your business and your life. So it's not something to take lightly. So some of the signs of burnout are exhausted. You think every day sucks. Like what is the point? Okay, you're conflicted internally, like you got the kind of that pull to and fro going on inside you, whilst at the same time also thinking there's no point to it. So that in itself does your head in. Or you can be really having lots of conflict with other people in the workplace or at home or somewhere in your life. You can, as with most things, if you have a change in your sleep patterns or your eating patterns, that can be a sign. Starting to take solace in food, drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, any of those kind of things. If you need that kind of thing and you're leaning towards it more, so it can absolutely be a sign. Low immunity, like getting run down and getting sick all the time, is a definite sign of burnout. You're not motivated. Most things you're doing are feeling either really dull and laborious, or really overwhelming. There's kind of no middle ground. It's like, ugh, or it's You've changed your work habits. You might be procrastinating more. You might not be able to focus. You might have a lack of clarity about what you're doing. And that could come from a lack of communication in a workplace is causing the lack of clarity, or it could just be your own internal lack of clarity with what you're doing, especially if you have your own business. Not able to focus. You might feel like there's just, you know, as I said, no point to trying new things, doing new things, finishing things. You might start withdrawing from social activities or workplace activities, functions, where you used to be a person that would put their hand up and go, I'll take on that task, or I'll do that. You might now be like, I'm just going to stand by the water cooler and ignore the world. You can tend to feel quite empty, and alone. Burnout's quite a lonely feeling. You don't feel where before when you completed tasks, or you made it a great meal, or you saw friends, you had the sense of satisfaction. That sense of satisfaction might have totally disappeared, as will your sense of, like, your passion for things or your drive for things. And it's like this, it's a mass exhaustion, but it's mental and physical, I guess. There's a gazillion things that can cause it. So I'll run through a few of them. And some of them you can have control over, as far as helping fix that cause or remove that cause or deal with that cause. Others you might not have a lot of control over. So it's about finding where you can control something around that cause. So if one of the causes, for example, is a toxic work environment, you might not be in a position where you can leave tomorrow. So, but you might be in a position where you can set up better boundaries about work, or do some more work from home, or speak to HR about things not being tolerated, you know, that kind of thing. So putting a sign on your door saying piss off world. No, only joking, don't do that. So that's one of the things. So toxic environments can be a cause of burnout. Taking on too much responsibility, having a pessimistic outlook can cause burnout. I know that seems silly, but if you're constantly negative Nancy, and that in itself has so many emotional and physical kind of characteristics, and it drains you energetically, that if you are having that, you can get burnt out quite easily, because it's not easy to deal with stuff because you're in that space. If you have perfectionistic tendencies, which I might admit to having, if you live or work in a sense of chaos, that can often cause burnout. If you're a bit of a control freak, you can cause it. If you work too much, if you feel like you're not getting any support, work or home, if you're not sleeping well, if you're a massive high achiever, you can sometimes you almost cause yourself burnout because don't have the right boundaries and creating the right space, or doing things with the right headspace or the right intent. And definitely boundaries with work are a massive one. So some of the things you can do to help with burnout, firstly, is recognizing it. So talk to someone. If you can reach out to a coach, or reach out to a shrink, a psychologist, HR manager, just your direct manager, a friend, a colleague, things like the Black Dog Institute. I think I should have actually checked that before I said that. But I think some mental health websites and things like that have tools where you can kind of have a bit of a look and put in some things and see if you think you could possibly be suffering from burnout. And they'll give you directions as to where to go or what to look at. But some of the things you can do after you've recognised it, okay? Because the first point to anything is recognising what's actually going on. So instead of just thinking, I'm tired, but recognising that it could actually be burnout, and then taking the steps that you need. So when you're taking those steps, the things you want to look at are, exercise. I know you're exhausted and you're feeling burnt out, so the last thing you want to do is exercise, but it's really, really, really important. Especially outdoor stuff, so you're getting the sun, the vitamin D, the air, that you're not getting the recycled air from a gym, but you're actually getting fresh air into your lungs and things, really can help. And eating well, they're two of the big ones. And I know when we're feeling like crap and burnt out, we want to go for, the sugar hit or the comfort foods of our childhood. They're probably not going to help. And of course, if you don't deal with burnout, it can lead to, I know, all those 21st century medical conditions like adrenal fatigue and all the stuff that some people say does exist, some people say doesn't exist. Oh, cool. Exercise bike. Peloton are apparently really good, but I don't know if they're here yet. But they're apparently really good. So you exercise. Setting up your priorities properly. Like, what are your priorities? If you're spending too much effort on the wrong things, then you're going to get burnt out. Goal setting and achievement is a big one. Like, even if they're little goals, set them, have a concentrated effort rather than this overwhelm that can come with burnout. Ask yourself some really deep questions about what you're doing. Like, why are you actually doing the work that you're doing? Okay. Do you want to be doing it? How could you change it? It's gone are the days where you leave school, you go to university, you get a job, and you're in that job till you get given a watch and you retire, and that's life. Like, very few people have that kind of career path anymore. Life is an ever-evolving thing, as is career. So we can pick and choose and change and do different things depending on our skill sets, our passions, our interests, what we get asked to do. So really take time to say, why am I doing this? Is this what I want? Is this what I'm on this planet to be doing? I know I talk about that a lot, but I think it's really, really, really freaking important. Boundaries, another thing I talk about till I'm blue in the face. Boundaries. Get better boundaries. I've done another live on boundaries, and I've done other stuff on boundaries, so let me know if you need any more information. Take a break. Have a Kit Kat. Have a holiday. Like, if you can take a few days off, a week off, if while you're trying to get out of burnout, you can drop to like a 4-day week or a 4-hour week, 4-day week, 3-day week, anything like that. Do more work from home, but take a break from physical environments where you are feeling burnt out can often help. Communicate with people about what you're going through. It's a really big one. Don't hide and pretend that it's not going on, because people do know stuff's happening with you. Even if you don't think they do know. You need to find a bit of balance. So sit down with your, like my Do It diet or the Ditch It, Delegate It matrix, and I'm about to pick up a book I'm reading then, and like see where you're working out, where you're spending your time. I've got lots of exercises on that, and really balance your time so you're getting you time and time with the people you love versus it all being about work or the toxicity, the toxic stuff that's really causing the burnout. Oh, Justin, I totally agree. It is incredibly hard to be constantly giving and looking after people. And you don't look after yourself. And unfortunately, that's when bad stuff happens, like the accident you had recently. Like, it's those things I call myself woo-woo, with analytical with a woo-woo rising. I have to believe things like that happen sometimes to actually force us to take a break and look after ourselves, or have someone look after us. I know there's been times in my life where I would get sick at virtually exactly the same time every single year. One year it was pneumonia, one year it was whooping cough. And I had to go, okay, what is it about that time of year that happens like this? And it's not the weather. It was stuff going on in my life that caused this mass overwhelm and burnout that led to me being so depleted and not looking after myself that I would get like a bad illness. So it's really important. When I was a carer for my mother for years, 6.5 years till she passed away. She lived with us. And it was probably a couple of years in when I finally went, oh, actually I need to do these other things for myself and look after myself to be a better daughter to her and a better daughter to Elodie. As you know, I've taught her totally, Johnny, Justin, you're not alone, and neither are you, Johnny. No, as long as anyone that's connected with me, please know that you're always in my thoughts. It's I care greatly about the people I know. Yeah, I'm going to get teary. Sorry. And I'm a bit woozy still, very woozy. Yeah, you have to love yourself first, and you have to care for yourself first. And burnout is a prime example of you not doing that. You're caring too much about your work tasks or other people's expectations, or other people, like, especially in the toxic environment thing in a workplace, when you're letting that lead your life. Like, no, you should be number one. You need to be number one. You need to be number one. You need to be number one. And lastly, a thing you can do when you're suffering from burnout to try and make yourself feel a little bit better. Why the accent, I don't know. Is get creative. Like, we're all creative. I used to think I wasn't, but I am. My creativity just doesn't happen to be being able to draw. If you ever want a good laugh, play Pictionary with me, I tell you. That'll get anybody out of the depths of depression. Maybe don't quote me on that. So creativity is a really big one with burnout, just because we use part of our brain and not the other part of our brain when we're in those high stress frequency kind of environments. So to help get out of that, do something creative. Draw, paint, cook, dance, sing, play an instrument, write. Just is something that's no one's judging you for, no one's commenting on, no one even needs to know you're doing it, but it's getting your creative juices flowing. It's so important. So they're my little tips on what causes burnout, what are the signs to look for, and some of the things you can do to help get out on the other side of it. Bottom line is, burnout is real. You're not just tired, and you have to deal with it before it does turn into serious illness for you physically or mentally, or a catastrophic thing to happen in the workplace. So yeah, look after yourselves, and I will see you all. See you all tomorrow. Mwah, mwah, mwah.